In early 2016, an extraordinary bank robbery took place. Not with guns. Not with masks. But with code, deception, and one crucial spelling error. The Bangladesh Bank, the country's central bank, held an account with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That account managed international payments, including hundreds of millions in foreign currency reserves. Unbeknownst to them, hackers had already infiltrated their system, and were preparing to launch one of the most ambitious digital heists in history. The intrusion began in January 2015, when a phishing email, disguised as a job application, was opened by a Bangladesh bank employee. That email carried malware, which installed itself on the bank's internal systems. Over several months, the hackers, believed to be the Lazarus Group, linked to North Korea, monitored the bank's internal operations, gathering credentials and observing how transfer requests were processed through the SWIFT network, the global financial messaging system used by banks to move money. They waited patiently, studying the bank's routine, employees, and payment protocols. In February 2016, the hackers struck. They used stolen credentials to send 35 fraudulent SWIFT transfer requests to the New York Federal Reserve Bank, attempting to move a total of $951 million from Bangladesh Bank's account to various bank accounts in the Philippines and Sri Lanka. The transfers were sent in batches over a Thursday and Friday, taking advantage of the Bangladeshi weekend, Friday to Saturday, when fewer staff would be available to monitor suspicious activity. The Fed initially processed the requests, but some were flagged. Why? One of the fake recipients was listed as the Shalika Foundation, an entity that didn't exist. Worse, the hackers had misspelled foundation as foundation. That tiny error triggered suspicion at Deutsche Bank, which was routing the payments. They contacted the Fed to pause the transactions. As a result, $850 million in transfer requests were stopped. But $101 million had already gone through. $20 million was sent to an account in Sri Lanka, but was quickly recovered after being frozen. The remaining $81 million landed in 4 accounts at Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, RCBC, in the Philippines. The funds were withdrawn in cash, converted to chips, and laundered through Philippine casinos and remittance firms. The accounts had been opened months earlier using fake names, including William Sago and Tessa Marquez Cruz. A portion of the money was traced to Jupiter Street branch of RCBC in Makati, managed by Maya DeGuito, who was later charged for her role in facilitating the transactions. Once the money entered the casino sector, it became virtually untraceable. Philippine laws at the time did not include casinos under its anti-money laundering regulations, a massive gap that helped the criminals vanish with tens of millions. Back in Bangladesh, bank officials only realized something was wrong on Saturday, when they noticed their printers weren't working, the ones used to print SWIFT confirmations. By the time the system was restored and the fraudulent transactions were uncovered, it was already too late. The money had been moved. The story was first exposed by the New York Times, Reuters, the Philippine Senate inquiry, cybersecurity firms like FireEye and Bay Systems, official investigations by the Bangladesh government, the FBI, and the Philippine Anti-Money Laundering Council, AMLC, through forensic analysis. They linked the malware used in the Bangladesh bank hack to code previously seen in attacks by the Lazarus Group, also responsible for the Sony Pictures hack, 2014, the WannaCry ransomware outbreak, 2017. The U.S. later officially accused North Korean operatives of orchestrating the cyber attack. Downward trend: the aftermath of the $101 million stolen, only around $15 million was recovered. In Bangladesh, no one was criminally convicted. In the Philippines, several RCBC employees were charged or dismissed. RCBC was fined $21 million by the Philippine Central Bank for its failure to prevent the laundering. The country passed reforms to bring casinos under anti-money laundering law, but only after the heist. The heist damaged the reputation of Bangladesh Bank, strained diplomatic relations, and raised global alarm about the vulnerability of even the world's central banks to cyber attacks. The hackers almost got away with $1 billion. The only thing that stopped them was a spelling mistake.